What's going on, guys? Welcome to week 3 of the Playbook with Joey and Zach. I hope it's been a great week for everyone. You are listening to WZBC AM Sports Radio, and we are excited to bring you another week of Boston sports over the next hour.
To start, we'll be recapping BC football's huge victory last Friday night over Virginia Tech. Then we'll be previewing BC's Saturday afternoon matchup at Georgia Tech. After that, we're going to talk about BC basketball's victory last night over Dartmouth and their season opener. And we're also going to talk about the recent struggles of BC hockey and the Celtics.
At the end, we will take some time for some call-ins, so please text me at 617-596-3150, 617-596-3150 to let me know that you want to call in, and then we'll figure it out from there. So shoot me a text if you're interested.
Absolutely, yeah. So let's get right into it. BC football, crazy win last week, huh? Phil Dracovic coming back.
What a game.
Brought a lot of energy to the team, brought a lot of energy to the stands.
It was quite a surprise. Yeah, it was quite a surprise because we were talking all week, the last 2 weeks, about if it's going to be Moorhead or Grossell for the rest of the season, and now Phil's back. So I guess that answers the quarterback controversy question.
Yeah, that was our big thing last week. All we needed is a stable QB, and look what happened. I
Yeah.
was telling you, all we needed was just a QB. The defense wasn't the issue.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I think we need to figure out something with, Phil had a couple of tough throws, which I understand. He was a little rusty, but there's some things we still have to figure out on the offense. But it definitely looked a lot better than it has in weeks past. So I'll take that. But there are still things they need to fix, though. They're still missing some deep balls to Zay. Zay dropped one, but Phil missed them once or twice. Phil tried to throw the ball a couple of times away, and then nearly got picked on a couple of them. But he actually did get picked once. He did get picked once, but he actually had a solid game though. For what it was worth, I mean, hey, it was a win's a win, so I'll take it.
Absolutely,
He just has to shake the rust off. I think he'll be fine.
Still great to have a guy who can hit those deep balls too, and can actually find Zay Flowers in those deep routes. Had a big connection with Jalen Gill too in the middle of the game, and he can also scramble better than anyone. Almost just as good as anyone in the ACC. He can extend a play. A play will break down, no one will be open. There will be 3 guys rushing right at him, and he'll somehow break a sack, make a spin move, and go on for 15 yards. That happened a few times during the VTech game. It was great to have him back again for that.
Yeah, we definitely got to get Zay a little more involved. Looking at last season to this season, obviously quarterback play has something to do with his offensive numbers being down. He had 62 yards per game this season. Obviously with Grossell and Moorhead, it's a different game than having Phil in. But last season he was 82 a game yards, and that's a big difference. 20 yards is a big difference per game. Over the course of the season.
If you look at all the missed throws to him deep too when he was open, you look at the Syracuse game, there was 2 or 3 missed throws over the top to him that he should have gotten. Just so many yards that he missed out on that could have been fixed by a QB that could throw deep.
Yeah, definitely. I think that that's part of it. Obviously, is quarterback play, and it looks like he's been running good routes all season. So I wouldn't say it's his fault, but definitely got to get him more involved. Obviously, Phil's running. He had a good game running. Actually, he was 9 of 65 for a touchdown, but I don't want him running over the middle as much as he did last game. He got hit a couple times pretty hard. He's got to be careful. I mean, he's already missed games with an injury.
Yeah, his first touchdown of the game, he got hit in the knees pretty hard.
Yeah, a couple times in
big
the
touchdown
field,
though. Brought us up 7-zip, so that was great to see. His first drive too.
Yeah, a couple
stands
times.
were electric.
Yeah. He had a couple runs, in the open field where he got hit pretty good, and he's got to be careful because you don't want him to get. And he's a big guy. I mean, he's not like a Lee Cunningham where he's going to be juking guys and he's elusive where it's all right if he's in the middle of the field. He's a big guy. It's a lot harder for him to make a juke or make a cut. And although he does it,
he does it well though. He's still mobile. He's big. He's hard to bring down. I think.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
He's got
a lot more to hit. It's like Gronkowski. There's a lot more to hit when you're a bigger guy. So that's the thing. You got to be
had
careful.
a lot of broken tackles during that game, especially when he'd rip off some of those 15, 20-yard runs.
Yeah, I know.
There was one. It was 3rd and 6. I think it was the second quarter. Play broke down. He just took out of the pocket, broke a sack, made a spin move, and got the first.
And the touchdown run was
nice
nice
to have a playmaker at that back. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the big body, obviously, it's hard to bring down, as we said. And talking about BC's rushing attack, I mean, Garwo right now is 4th in the ACC in rushing yards with 805.
He's had a great year. Credit to the O-line, too. O-line's ranked 2nd in the country right now. So
yeah, no, they've been killing it.
No sacks allowed last game against, a good Virginia Tech defense. So
they've been killing it. Yeah, VTech, I mean, the defense was my biggest that was my biggest question going into last week. And they played great. They only gave up 235 yards on the ground compared to the 400-plus we gave up in the last 2 games. That Louisville game was obviously tough. Syracuse was tough. You get 400-plus yards per game in both of those games. A 235 cooling down a Virginia Tech offense. Obviously, part of that is Burmeister going out and being hurt. He was having a really good season. He came out, midway through the first quarter or whatever it was. Second
pretty
quarter.
early on in the game.
Yeah, and then Knox, Kadam came in and took over at the helm, and they only held him to 73 passing yards, which Burmeister was 0 of 1. He really didn't even throw. He ran 3 of 15, 3 carries of 15 yards, but he didn't complete a pass. I mean, he was only out there for whatever it was, a quarter, I think, if I remember right. But he didn't play too much.
Yeah, still defense was great though. All game they were solid. They got to the quarterback, forced pressure. A couple of pass deflected downfield. Josh DeBray played a great game.
Hit a sack, yeah.
Yep.
Our only sack.
That was big, yeah. That was on third down.
I want more sacks.
Vinny DePalma stepped up big time for IGM. That was a big loss. I thought IGM, our leading tackler on the season, been out with a upper body injury. Should be back next week. He's day-to-day right now. Look at this team right now, too. We're missing a lot of guys. Him, IGM, Trey Berry, Brandon Sebastian. Right? Mitri's out for the year.
And Mitri's a big loss, so Mike Palmer's have to step up.
Yeah, our defense is taking some shots, and, the team has been resilient. It's been a tough year without Phil, but now that he's back, it really feels like we can beat anyone. And on the defense especially, there's just a next man up mentality, it seems like. A couple of true freshmen coming in, Bryce Steele, a new free safety, J. Marie Jones. He's stepping up to back up Mike Palmer now. Just came in last week. So a lot of guys, C.J. Burton too.
Tim Otto made some plays too.
Yeah, he had a big hit.
And, he had a couple, yeah. He's having a good season, actually. I know he was a safety.
I thought it was a great switch for him,
but definitely helped. I think, honestly, you guys going back at Safety, you can hit people over the middle. I wouldn't mind that.
No, like with Cam Chancellor. That's what he looks like out there.
He's a big guy. You let him hit people over the middle, they're not going to throw over the middle anymore. But yeah, BC had a great game, actually, defensively, and they gave 162 yards on the ground, but we had 234 on the ground ourselves. So definitely, how we also ran the ball, though, 54 times to their 34. 54 carries is a lot. Obviously, Jerkovic being a little rusty has something to do with that, but the running game was working, so I understand running the ball there, but
just give the guys juice too. Just having Phil back, the stands are electric. When it was just a surprise to everybody. There was a couple of rumors going around Twitter Friday afternoon, but no one believed it because it started to get shut down. And then it's game time all of a sudden. They go, you see Phil Jerkovic run out of the tunnel with his pads on. It was like, whoa!
That was pretty sick how they did it.
Brought energy to the whole team. It seemed like. There's just a lot more confidence out there in the offense. We go down, score a touchdown on our first drive. How often did that happen the last 4 weeks? So
not often, yeah. Not many touchdowns in general, but yeah, that's definitely true. He had a pick too. He's got to, as I said, there were things he's got to, get back into, get back into the game. But wasn't a bad game. 7 of 13, 112 yards. There were a couple throws. He missed Zay dropped one of them, but he missed Zay once also. He hit Zay on a deep ball too, though, so he made up for it there. But Gower had a great game. 30 carries, 116 yards, a touchdown. Obviously, as we said, he's been having a great season, big breakout year. BC always has a running back in years past, that always takes over the backfield like John Hilliman did for a few years, and A.J. Dillon. David Bailey, had a great year with A.J. Dillon that year. Obviously, last year he didn't have as good of a season. Gower this season stepped up, so every year they have a new running back that takes over. And as I said, my boy John Hilliman.
Back too.
John Hilliman, he's the definition of a power back,
Yeah, a lot of guys. And freshman Xavier Coleman, too. He got some snaps turned. I think it was the Colgate game. He looks solid, too. He looks like he'd be the future at running back for the team.
Yeah, they always get running backs.
Travis Levy, too. He's had a solid year. Sinkfield, too.
Sinkfield's been
Speedy
good,
guy out of the backfield. Great screen back.
Triple head threat, yeah.
That's the most exciting thing to me about our run game is that our O-line is so good. And then we have 3 guys that can cut up the defense in different ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
We use a lot. We kind of rotate between the 3 a lot, which kind of keeps the opposing defense on their toes. And, it's looked good. Our rushing game is a lot stronger than it was last year. Last year was real tough. David Bailey had a tough year. The O-line wasn't doing great for the run game. Yeah, but now we got a whole new identity.
Yeah, I don't have a David Bailey last year. He just struggled. The offensive line last year, we kind of struggled as a team last year in certain, positions you thought would be a lot better. Like the offensive line struggled a little bit last year, obviously, and in the run game, that was a big drop-off. Without A.J. Dillon, of course you're going to have a drop-off, but
that's
it was a big drop-off, which I don't think we expected as big of one. But, yeah, this season looks like they're back running the ball, as I said. So 234 yards on the ground for BC off 54 attempts. So average 4.3 yards per rush, which is solid. That's awesome.
Solid. Yeah, it's a big improvement from last year.
Force a couple of turnovers. The time of possession is something that's big. We had the ball for 36 minutes and 56 seconds compared to their 23 minutes and 4 seconds. And weeks past, it's been the complete opposite. So we've had a lot of 3-and-outs in weeks past, so that obviously plays a role in, having not as much time of possession. But I'll take the 37 to 23 all game. That's awesome.
Oh, always. Yeah, that's a good stat line to have. What you said about Phil, though, yeah, not great stats, but in the run, he was just creating plays left and right. Whenever a play broke down, he was the guy that was there. I do understand what you said. You don't want him to get hurt, but that's what he's built for, I think. That's what makes him so great. It's just his ability to extend a play whenever he wants.
Yeah, he holds on to it a long time, though. That's another thing. But it's good. If he gets, let's say, he ever takes another big hit, you got Grossell for the rest of the year. It's like, you got to be careful. You want to keep winning games. Although Grossell, great backups, as we said, but obviously you want Phil in there if he's healthy. So it's tough.
Absolutely, yeah.
it's tough. But
yeah, overall great win. I think we're looking pretty good heading to Georgia Tech next week. Gonna have to face another good duo of running backs at Georgia Tech.
Yep.
So run defense is going to be a key as it has been every week. We play NC State, Syracuse, we get cut up in the run game. Louisville too.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be the key because if Phil is playing, you got to assume that he's going to be playing even better than last week because now he's going to have a full week of practice and reps coming in. Which he hasn't had since the UMass week. So offense should be flowing well. It's just all going to come down to can we keep the running backs out of the end zone?
Yeah, I mean Georgia Tech. 3-5 on the year, coming off a tough loss, 33-30 against Miami. But, yeah, they have a solid running back duo. Jahmyr Gibbs, sophomore running back, coming off a good game against Miami, where he had 9 carries for 67 yards and a rushing touchdown. Also can catch, too. He had 4 catches for 72 yards receiving and a touchdown. And also he's a kick returner, too. He had 4 kick returns for 98 yards. So he does a little bit of everything. 237 yards all-purpose last week in that game against Miami and 2 touchdowns. So he can definitely move. He's shifty. He's elusive in the open field. He's 3rd in the ACC in kick return yards right now and 10th in rushing yards. So big duo threat. You got to be careful. I mean, last week he had a 29-yard rushing touchdown and a 50-yard touchdown reception on a flat. He's very elusive in the open field, as I said. Probably the most talented player on their offense.
And the star of the
makes
guys miss well.
Very shifty, absolutely explosive.
He's hard to bring down, absolutely. Yeah,
he's quick, and you don't want to miss a tackle or it's a touchdown. So that's going to be a big test for BC next week. Dante Smith, their other running back, having a solid year.
They got 2 guys who can burn. 2 of the best in the ACC.
He's solid 4 touchdowns on the year, which is great. And then they got a good receiver too, Kyrie McGowan. Just reading about him. Their best receiver, he's got 30 catches for 422 yards and 7 touchdowns on the year, which is good for 6th in the ACC in receiving touchdowns. So he's having a solid year.
They got some impressive skill players in offense. Their defense, though, hasn't been looking so hot, giving up 407 yards per game. 231 of those being passing yards, so I think that's something BC can absolutely attack. 267, my fault, passing yards per game, even better. Something BC can definitely attack now that Jacobic's back. We can get the deep ball going. Their secondary is prone to giving up big plays, so I think that's where it's all going to come in. It's just our Russian defense and, getting Phil, hit Zay and Jalen Gill deep. As we found him a couple of times during the Red Bandana game at VTech, you keep doing that against a team like Georgia Tech, and, they're not going to be able to stop that. You got, I think, 2 of the fastest receivers in the ACC. Zay Flowers, easily one of the best. Jalen Gill, too, I think, can be just as good. We just haven't gotten him the ball as much. 2 explosive guys that, can really power this win past Georgia Tech.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Georgia Tech, they got 16 sacks in 9 games. BC's only got 12, so neither one of us gets to the quarterback the best. They're second to last in the ACC in sacks. We're obviously last, as I've talked about in weeks past, so definitely will be a test getting to the quarterback. I mean, their quarterback's pretty good, Jeff Sims. He's got 372 rushing yards and 4 rushing touchdowns on the season. So, once again, another guy a quarterback that can run like Malik Cunningham and Garrett Schrader on Syracuse. We struggled against both of them. So, it'll be a test to see how you can contain him and keep him in the pocket rather than, running and moving around. I mean, he's not had a bad season passing. He's got 12 touchdowns passing and 7 interceptions to 1,400 passing yards. So, he's a dual threat. He can run and pass, but hopefully keep him in the pocket. I think that'll be a big question for BC, see if they can do that.
Absolutely. I think another interesting thing, too, is Georgia Tech is actually favored in this matchup by 2 points. I'm not a betting man, but if I was going on this game, I might be going with BC for sure on this because, Georgia Tech, they're a good team. They hung close with Miami, but I think their passing defense, and then you look at that and, our new reinvigorated offense, I think, if I'm giving a score prediction, I'm going to go 26-17 BC.
Yeah, it's not a bad one. They gave up 563 yards last week to Miami. Miami's a solid offense, but 563 yards and 389 passing. So maybe BC will move the ball, stop throwing the ball deep. Hopefully we can get that going with Zay, obviously, and Jalen Gill, as you were saying, and obviously Jaden Williams. We have a lot of options, obviously, on the offense.
Yeah, a lot of explosive receivers.
I would say my prediction.
CJ Lewis is out for the year.
CJ Lewis,
actually. That's
another big loss.
It's a big loss, yeah.
3-2 on defense, but
still got a lot of guys that can go and catch the ball and make a play.
Definitely, yeah. I'd probably say 32-27 BC. I think that's solid.
Fair. Yeah, I think it'll be a close game for sure.
Yeah, they might get a backdoor touchdown at the end of the game. You know what I mean? To make it go from 2 scores to 1. But
I think it'll be close regardless.
Yeah, I think it's at Georgia Tech too, so we haven't had too many great games away. Won a lot of our games home this year, but
last year against Georgia Tech though, we looked great. We had, it was a pretty good win. We pretty much blew them out all game. Phil and Zay were connecting deep well. we limited their offense pretty well. That game was at Alumni, no fans.
True, yeah.
But a solid win for the team.
Definitely, yeah. So, see how it goes. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a good matchup, 3:30 on Saturday afternoon at Georgia Tech, as we were saying. So, a lot to look forward to there with BC. Not too many games left in the season. Only got 2 more home games now, so.
Only need 1 more for the bowl game, too, so
Season's
that's all
dwindling.
we need, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy how the season flies, but as we said, there's a lot to look forward to with this offense, and Phil coming back obviously is a big help. CJ being out for the year is a big loss, but, next man up. There's a lot of weapons on that team. I love Jelani Galloway. It's probably my favorite receiver. I want him getting the ball more, too.
He's listed on the depth chart right behind Jalen Gillard, Zay Flowers, I want to say.
Yeah, I want to get him the ball, get him in there.
He's right in the second line, so.
Yeah, no, definitely. We definitely got to get him in there, get him more involved. He had a great couple plays last year and some big moments. Obviously, he didn't play as much as I think he should because how many weapons we've had on the offense now the last 2 years. Hunter Long last year and Zay had a great year last year, great year this year. So not as great of a year this year for Zay. It's not his fault, but he's still having a good season. Just not
yeah, he's playing well. It's just he hasn't really had that QB that he needs to.
Definitely,
get him the ball deep because he's had a lot of opportunities. That Syracuse game, he was wide open 2 or 3 times. One of them was kind of on his own. But towards the end of the game, I think it was the 3rd or 4th quarter, we had a chance to go down and score a touchdown. He was wide open deep. He had like 5 or 6 yards of separation, and Grossell just sailed the ball out of bounds. That was a frustrating play. I think for everyone watching that game. Can't have that.
But anyway, so we'll move on now to some BC basketball talk. Last night, they defeated Dartmouth in their season opener, 73-57, in Earl Grant's debut as BC's new head coach, 13th in program history. Looked great. BC basketball had a great night all around. They got up, I think the biggest lead we had was 26 at one point, so blowing them off. They went on like an 11-2 run in the second half where we got a little sloppy and had some turnovers. They were getting a good amount of offensive rebounds, actually, at one point, and then they started hitting their threes. Dartmouth, actually not a bad team. They're an Ivy League. They usually compete. Last season they didn't have a season in the Ivy League, so they didn't play now for the last year and a half. The whole pandemic they haven't played, actually. So
they're undersized, but they do everything right. You see him, their tallest guy. He seemed like he was like 6'7" out there, but he was going up with 7-footers like Quentin Post, and they were still getting boards. So credit to them. They're a good team. But big win. DeMar Langford, great game, 16 points, 8 for 10 from the field. I think he's going to be the star of the season. He has potential to go to the NBA. A lot of scouts have been, kind of buzzing about him a little bit. That would be really cool to see. His brother Makai, another great game. Distributed the ball well. Didn't shoot great, but I thought he played solid overall, just kind of creating for the whole offense. Quentin Post was another guy too. How many points did he have? I think it was 14. He played solid, got a lot of boards too. Looked dominant inside. So things are looking up for the team.
Yeah, Quentin Post, a transfer from Mississippi State. He had 14 points, as Zach was saying, with 6 rebounds. So one thing we've been strong with in the years past has been rebounds. So having a 7-footer also helps there, of course. Dartmouth actually led in the game. BC was up 42-19 at half. As I said, the largest lead was 26 with 8:44 to go in the second half. But Dartmouth went on that 11-2 run, as I was saying. They cut the deficit to 16 with 12 minutes to go. But, BC ended up going on a 10-0 run. Kanye Jones led that actually with a couple free throws and a layup. Freshman having a really good year. He was committed to Charleston originally and then ended up coming to BC after Grant left Charleston for BC. So
he looked good up there, yeah. There was one run. We were on a 10-0 run. I think he had 6 or 7 of those points. He drilled the 3, had a couple layups.
Yeah.
He looked really strong out there. Had a steal, too. He had a great run in there.
Yeah, I saw Earl Grant play a lot. His teams play a lot at Northeastern since they're in the same conference as the CAA against Charleston. So saw him coach a lot. His teams are always good at shooting threes. They always hustle. And last night, we pretty good.
The 3-pointers were tough, but
pretty much good. They were good shots, though. I would say they were pretty good shots. At least they're not shooting threes with 2 guys in their face. They were good shots. Not every one of them fell, but I want them taking open threes always. Last season, we would just force threes with 2 guys in our face. You'd have
no ball movement last year whatsoever.
Shooting 3 steps in from half court. It was just nuts last season. So they were good threes. Always they take good shots. Charleston did, when they had Earl Grant as coach, and always a good defensive team. Rebounding last night, pretty solid on the boards. I think we ended up having more than they did, but did we end up having more than they did? I think we did.
Yes, we did.
We did,
39 to 31.
Okay, yeah, so we ended up out-rebounding them, but at one point, they had like 4 or 5 offensive rebounds in a row on like 2 straight possessions. So that's one thing we got to fix. But either way, win the game, look great.
First game, too, under a new coach, huge. So you can't ask for too much. A win is, plenty.
Definitely, yeah.
New coach, new system. So much roster turnover, too. We only returned 4 or 5 guys from 4 or 5 scholarship guys from the previous years.
And we kept him at Langford, thankfully. As he said last night in the post game interview that Earl Grant's emphasis on defense was the reason he stayed here, and we're lucky to have. As I would agree with you, I think he's the best player on the team. I think he's gonna have a great season. He could average 18 points a game. If you just give him the opportunities. He had 16 last night.
Yep.
He could have 18 a game, though, if you give him the opportunities, give him the shots.
He could.
I at least want 15 out of him a game, though. You know what I mean? Just because I feel like he's the best player on the team, and got to get him a lot of shots. He
looks good, too. He had a couple of shots where he'd just go in ISO and hit a crossover and take a step back, and, he drilled it. He was shooting 8 for 10.
8 for 10.
He looks just confident, too. I think that's the biggest step up from last year. He looks stronger. He looks more confident. And I think we're going to start to give him more looks where you just give him the ball and let him go. It's big having a guy like that in the ACC, too, because last year we kind of missed that. It seemed like we'd hang in a lot of these games, but when it came down to crunch time, say the NC State game, we kind of blew that one at the end. We just had no offense. We kind of fell apart on defense as well, not calling a timeout.
Yeah.
But it'll be great if he can turn into that kind of creator we need in crunch time.
Definitely, yeah. Never Grant's first game, as we were saying, you never know how a first game's going to go. And coming out with a victory, that means more than anything. He said last night that going home, leaving the crowd of 4,000, that was at Conti. So it was a pretty good crowd for a Tuesday night matchup opener. That's
for a smaller game, too.
Absolutely. Said going home with a victory meant a lot to them, meant a lot to our fans, obviously. So that's great. And as I said, I saw him coach against Northeastern a lot, and his teams are always good. They always did things right. They were always in there in the CAA tournament. They were always up there with Northeastern fighting for the championship. So we'll see how things go.
They made the tournament one year, so
they did.
And hopefully, he can do it with us too.
Beat my Northeastern Huskies though that game, which it was tough. Roll skis though, but anyways, we looked good last night all around. You can't really expect too much in the first game, and a win's a win. So I'll take it. Dartmouth, as you said, they do a lot of things well. Brendan Barry, their best player, missed all of 2019-2020 season with an injury, and then all of last year, 2020-2021 season. There was no Ivy League, athletics last year. They didn't have a basketball team. They didn't have any season. So that was his first game back. David's first game since March 9th of 2020, that is.
Yeah, wow. It's a long time.
So his first game since March 9th of 2019, actually, because he missed the 2019-2020 season. I think it was David's first game since March 2nd of 2020. March 2nd,
that's a long time.
So the whole pandemic, they didn't play, really, because the Ivy League was the first team to, shut down the Ivy League tournament to go to the March Madness, and after that, the last game they played was March 2nd to 2020. But as I was saying, Brendan Barry, his last game was March 9th of 2019, which I was reading a lot about that story last night, and it's pretty cool. The last time he played was we were seniors in high school still. So letting him get back on the court was a nice story. I'll be rooting him all season. Hopefully,
he played well too. So
definitely.
Good to see him get back.
Missing 2 years of an injury. Well, last year wasn't his fault, but missing 2 years obviously isn't easy. So I'll be rooting him all season. Hopefully, we follow him along. Hopefully, he gets his 3-point shots up. He had a good game. He had 10 points.
Yeah, he played solid.
Tara Samuels, too, had 10 points for them. So, solid game, and that win's a win. BC will obviously take it. Dartmouth now has Georgetown, so they have a tough matchup on Saturday.
Yeah, they got some tough games on the schedule.
Yeah, they got some tough ones, but sure they'll get there. He'll get his threes up, and they took a lot of good shots wide open, but not all of them are falling. Obviously.
Yeah, they had good ball movement, Dartmouth. For BC, how was some of our freshmen last night?
Yeah.
Jaden Zacher got the starting nod. I was surprised about that because we haven't really heard much about any of the freshmen coming into camp.
Much.
The only one I was remotely familiar with was Johnny Thompson, a local guy from Chestnut Hill, high 3-star recruit, nationally ranked by most major boards out there. Great offensive player, very fluid, very natural. He came in and hit a 3 last night. He didn't get as much playing time as I thought. A little surprised that Jaden Zacher got the start. He played for a JUCO for 2 years and then came into BC under Earl Grant. Got the offer last year. Kanye Jones, too, a freshman from Orlando, Florida, point guard. He played really well. I thought he moved the ball around well and he hit his shots. We're just kind of surprising to see a freshman like that, just come in and play like he's been there, in his first game with fans, just first game in general at the college level, just come in and hit these big shots and move the ball around the way he did and play with that kind of confidence. So, and things are looking up. And then the next year's recruiting class, too, it only gets better. We got 2 4-star recruits, Prince Oligbe and Donald Hand, who just signed his national letter of intent today. A lot of young talent coming in for the team, so I'm really excited with the direction this program's heading.
Definitely. Gianni Thompson had a 3 actually last night at the end of the game, so it's nice to him get his first points as an Eagle. Obviously, Quinton Post, we were talking about, a transfer. He had his first points as an Eagle. Yesterday, 14, solid game as we were talking about. So there's a lot of talent to look forward to on this team. obviously things, are going well. If you win a game, by 16, you'll take that all day, especially since we only won like 4 or 5 games all last season. So we'll take that. I mean, DeMar Langford had 16 points, 1 point shy of his freshman season high from last year, and he was talking about how he had some jitters last night in the post-game interview. He was saying he had some jitters, obviously it being his first game with college fans, and he said, I actually asked him a question. I said, how long does it take for you to adjust to the speed of the game to let the jitters go? And he said once the ball was tipped off, he locked in, and obviously he did. He had 16 points at our first basket of the game. Mm-hmm. So
80% for the field too. That's real impressive. I mean, that's not sustainable, but that's great. You love to see that in the first game, even against a team like Dartmouth that just showed the way. He was driving, getting to the rim. He hit his jump shots. Had a lot of mid range in there too. He looked confident there, which I think is the biggest step from last year, where he just kind of get the ball, and if he was open, he would shoot. Otherwise, he'd kind of kick it out. Definitely.
Yeah, no, we look great all around. Makash and Langford had some runs too. Having them be brothers in the same line, I think that's pretty sick. It's something to follow. Obviously, all season, both of them being on the same team, obviously rooting for both of them to have really good games. I think they're our two best players. So letting them get going, having a good first game. I think Quinton Postar is probably the second best game last night behind DeMar Langford. But Machias and Langford had a great game as well. So I'll be rooting for both of them all season. I think it's sick having two brothers in the same lineup. It's awesome.
Yeah, especially two guys that are probably, realistically, might be the most talented on this team.
Definitely.
Point guard, shooting guard of the starting lineup. So, it's great to see that. They already got that chemistry in the court, too. You see them, the way they kind of create for each other. You can kind of see they've been playing together for a while, obviously. I'm sure they've been playing pickup since they were growing up together. So,
definitely.
You can kind of see that.
Local kids from Worcester, too. So, having Massachusetts being represented is nice. So, BC has a second home game Friday night against Holy Cross at Conti Forum. Holy Cross is coming off a 47-point win against Regis. Regis, I think, is D3, but they're coming off a 47-point win against Regis. That was their first game of the season as well. I think they played it last night or a couple nights ago. They were 5-11 in the Patriot League last year. They had no out-of-conference games, so Patriot League was pretty solid last year. They'll be going 5-11 in there. Obviously had some good competition to play against, but I'm sure they'll be psyched playing their first out-of-conference game, really, because Regis, is in a Power 5 school. So having their first out-of-conference game against a Power 5 school, I'm sure they'll be psyched. At Conti Forum, too, Friday night.
They're always a solid team, too, Holy Cross. They've had some good players over the year. Yeah. Bob Cousy way back in the day. I mean, they've always been all right, especially for a small school like that.
They've had a couple Saudi kids on their baseball team and basketball team before, so Saudi's represented Holy Cross. You like to see it, Love to see it.
There you go, yeah.
But it'll be a big game, and then I think they play Sunday. Is it against Fairfield? So 3 home games to start the year, which is nice. Get us hopefully on a 3-0 start, I would hope. Is it Sunday? Sunday versus Fairfield at 4:30.
Sunday, and then then we got some big matchups coming up. We got Utah at home November 20th. That'll be an interesting game. The SEC versus Pac-12. That doesn't happen too often.
Yeah, that'll be
especially for us at home.
Could be a tough one. Who knows? But it'll be a fun one to watch. I think we're a lot better than we've been in years past. Obviously, and I don't even think this year's a year you can really judge Earl Grant since it's only his first season. I think it's got to be a couple years down the line.
Yeah, this is Earl Grant playing with half of Jim Christian's guys after half of them transferred out. So
he kept some good ones though. DeMar Langford, a solid.
Yeah, he got
Ashton Langford, and I think after that, just bench guys like Andrew Kenny and a couple others. But
losing Jay Heath is tough though. Leading scorer from a year ago, great facilitator, great shooter. Transferred to Arizona State, which I thought was pretty impressive. So I'm excited to see what he does over there. I think he should be pretty good. CJ Felder too, another guy. Yeah, University of Florida now. Huge athletic, rebounds really well, great defender. So I think he'll fit right in down there as well. So excited to see those guys play, and I'm happy for them.
Yeah, we've lost actually a lot of talent. Winston Tabbs transferred last year too. I'm not sure what happened with him, and I think he was suspended a game or something. I don't even know what happened there, but losing him, he was our best player 2 or 3 years ago. Battled some injuries the last couple seasons, and last year played, and then ended up transferring or quitting midseason. I don't even know what the situation was, but
that was a tough transfer. I think it was tough. He tested positive, and then just something happened. Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, he just immediately announced his transfer.
Yeah.
So tough loss for the program, and then Jay Heath and CJ Felder too. That's 3 core guys of that team.
Yeah,
just gone. So.
Definitely.
But it seems like Earl Grant's doing well with what he's got now. I mean, he had the 2 Langfords that transferred over from, or stayed within the program from Jim Christian, and then a lot of new guys too. Every freshman, but aside from Gianni Thompson, Earl Grant brought in himself. And then, 3 guys we got next year, Prince Oligbe, the power forward, Donald Hand, the combo guard, Chaz Kelly as well, another combo guard, 3-star from Pennsylvania. These are solid guys that are coming in, and I think, if he can continue to recruit at this high level, we can easily be a tournament team in 2 or 3 years.
Definitely, yeah. As I said, he had a lot of talent at Charleston, and always had a very good team. Northeastern always had a good team too, so it was always a great matchup. I think those were the two best teams always going at it. Even if you're not a fan of the CAA, I feel like if those two teams are on TV, which they were usually when they played in the CAA tournament, was something to watch always. So we'll see how things go. Obviously, we'll be rooting for them. Big game Friday night. Hopefully, we start out 2-0, maybe 3-0 if we beat Fairfield also, and get things rolling. Get URI after, which will be a good game. They're always good, but
a lot of good out of conference matchups coming up. Then Utah too, so
yeah,
it's an interesting slate of games to start the season for sure.
Definitely. Now we'll transition to some BC hockey. I mean, hey, they've been struggling. They fell to 5-4-1.
Tough year for them.
16th now in the rankings. 4th in the Hockey East.
Started so high too, and then just a couple tough losses. We had those big wins too. University of Denver and Northeastern. We looked great. Lost to Bentley in between. Lost to Colorado College in between those two games.
Yeah.
Lost to Merrimack over the past weekend. Lost to Vermont the weekend before. So yeah, things aren't looking great for BC hockey right now for sure.
Yeah. So I got a lot of smack for that game against Northeastern, but since that game against Northeastern, BC's 3-4 with losses to Merrimack, who's 4-6. Can't let that happen. Vermont, who's 1-5, only win is against BC, and then Colorado College, who's 2-6-2. You can't have those losses. Northeastern actually is 6-1 since that loss. So I got a lot of smack. Now they're actually first in the Hockey East. 8-3 now actually after a big win Monday night against Harvard. Shout out kind of Will Fontaine for the big overtime goal. The Skis are coming though, first Hockey East now. So
yeah, they've been playing well this year. Till they play BC though, of course.
Hey, wait February 7th, I think it is. The being caught 5th, the 7th. I think it's the 7th.
Something like that. First
I already
week
have my prediction.
At least.
I already put my way too early prediction.
What's your prediction? I called the last BC Northeastern game, right? So let's see if I can do it again.
I got Northeastern winning.
I was calling 5-3 for...
Fourth
we're playing in the first round. It's BC Northeastern in the first round. So
8 o'clock, I'll be there.
Yep, TD Garden, let's go.
That's it.
I need some time to think about it more, but I'm going to say 4-3 BC. It's always going to... I mean, it's going to be close either way.
Yeah, but I'll go 4-2 Northeastern. I'll go 4-2 Northeastern. I think they'll actually win the tournament for their 4th in a row. Very good team this year, as I said. Very top-heavy with a lot of talent. Aiden McDonough, Jordan Harris, kind of Will Fontaine, Devin Levi, great goalie, one of the best in the Hockey East, if not the best. So things are looking up for the Huskies after that tough loss against BC. 6-1 since. They've battled very well. Jerry Keefe has them flying around the ice. Harvard's a really good team. Harvard's actually 10th. Harvard's 10th right now in the rankings, and Northeastern just beat them.
Harvard's been good too, yeah.
Big overtime win on Monday night at Matthews Arena. So things are looking up for the Huskies. BC's got some big games coming this weekend. UMass Lowell and UConn, two very good teams. I think they're second and fourth.
Yeah, they're two solid teams. UConn's been playing well this year, and UMass Lowell's always solid. They took us down last year in the Hockey East tournament. So
yeah.
I think it's just been coming down to our defense, it seems like. We've scored at least 2 goals in every single game we've played so far. Obviously, offense has been great. Got a lot of firepower out there. Defense. But, defense, we have a lot of offensive-minded guys on defense. We've been giving up a lot of goals. Starting guys like Marshall Warren, Drew Hellison, both great players, don't get me wrong. Very offensive-minded, though. So I don't know where the solution's going to come in for, a true kind of defenseman. St. Ivany, too, another guy who's a great player, a great shooter, can play both sides.
Definitely.
But, we got guys on defense coming in trying to score goals all the time. Feels like we give up a lot of bad goals then. Dolph has played solid this year, it's felt like, but there's just a lot of goals that, he can't do everything. They've just kind of been trickling in the net. So,
yeah,
we're going to bounce back this weekend.
It's big games, yeah. So, you got UMass Lowell, who's 4-1-2 right now, having a solid season. They're right now 7th in the Hockey East, but it's been, they only have 6 points in the Hockey East. They've only played probably 3 or 4 games in the Hockey East. Hasn't been too many games, so maybe 5 games, how many they've played. But hasn't been too many games in the Hockey East, so I'm sure they'll be ready. Very good team this year, 4-1-2, as I said. And then you also got UConn, who's 6-3 right now. 3rd in the Hockey East. BC's, currently 4th, only 2 points out. But as I said, Northeastern's 1st right now. So after that game, BC's 3-4 since. So something changed. As you were saying, the defense, they love to shoot from the blue line. They love it.
It's only been 10 games yet, though. So already, though. So it's not, we still got probably 25 to go. So
it's a long season, yeah.
Got a ways to go to turn it around. Thankfully.
Yeah.
But, not an ideal start to the season, especially after a year like last year where, January, February, we were number 1 in the country. Had a great year last year until the playoffs rolled around. A lot of guys lost, too, to the draft, or to the NHL, Spencer Knight, Matt Boldy, Alex Newhook.
So,
you can really tell we're missing guys like that in their leadership and, the talent they brought to the team.
Definitely. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. 2 big games, 2 very good teams, as we've highlighted, and hopefully you win one of them. That'll be a good start. You just go 1-1 against those teams. They're both good teams. You go 1-1. That's solid. You go 2-0. Obviously, it's even bigger, but see how things go, obviously. And the defense, I think that's been the issue. They're not getting back, obviously, and there's a lot of deflections, off a dop, and then no one's there to, clear it and whatnot. We'll see how things go, though. It's a long season, as we said, so I guess positive.
Yeah, we got plenty of ways to go. I think, maybe it'll start as early as this weekend. We'll start pouring it on UConn. Because, offense has been great all year. We've been putting up, upwards of 3 goals per game, which is it's all going to come down to the defense again. You got a team like UConn is playing great right now. They're in the Hockey East. We're going to have to find a way to slow them down some way or another. Yeah,
it'll be a good test, obviously, and I think both games are away, which is tough. So both games are away, which is tough. So not having a home game, I think even at home, though, we lost to Merrimack. So I don't even think home actually would make a difference at the end of the day. But I know we have played tough at places. At Vermont, we lost. Now, who knows? Who else did we lose to at Bentley, right? Yeah, we lost at Bentley.
Yeah.
We lost at Bentley. So 2 bad losses, away. So can't lose to
Maybe
Bentley.
it just comes down to a young team, too. I don't know, because we got a lot of freshmen now. With most of the guys in our class going pro, you got a lot of freshmen playing on the team, a lot of sophomores kind of leading the way. Guys like Ambrosio, Trevor Kuntar, who are kind of leading the way now for this team. And, they've only been, these are their first games playing with fans, too. They've only had 1 year in the Heights, and it was the COVID year. So, you could draw that up to them kind of being like freshmen, too, when it comes to playing in a foreign stadium.
Definitely. Yeah, so you lost to Bentley, too, which was 4-5. That's a lot of teams that are under 500. Vermont, Merrimack, and Colorado College. All of, very below average teams. Can't lose to 4 of those. Those are 4 give-me games you got to get. So that's the thing. But
yeah, you got to pull this together next time.
Definitely.
Can't have any more losses like that in the season if we want to keep our national ranking. It's 5-4-1, not a hot record. But we got a big stretch of Hockey East games coming up. UConn, UMass Lowell, Maine, Notre Dame, Harvard.
See how things go there.
Yeah.
Now we can transition to some Celtics. Hopefully we get some call-ins. So give me a text. I said 617-596-3150. We'll talk Celtics before then. So if anyone wants to hop on, talk Celtics, Bruins, Odell. We'll talk Odell. Yeah. We can even start with Odell.
A lot of buzz going on right now.
Get him home in New York. It's not looking good, but
that's what Joey wants.
That's all I want.
I like the idea of him going to the Packers, though.
That's what I want too.
Yeah. Playing as the number 2 option for Aaron Rodgers, obviously behind Devontae Adams. I think they're going to have a great connection. Rodgers, out of the 3 teams that have been kind of named as the front runners between the Packers, Saints, and
Saints,
and the Chiefs.
Seahawks, Chiefs.
The Chiefs don't really have a
Saints.
Chiefs don't really have a need for him. They just picked up Josh Gordon. They got Mecole Hardman, Tyreek Hill, so many guys that can catch the ball. So I don't think Odell's really going to get much playing time out there. But Green Bay could absolutely use a guy like him, another deep threat alongside Devontae Adams, with that caliber of skill. So I think Green Bay, he'd get what he wants, and both joining contender and getting legitimate playing time and reps. Having a guy that can hit him deep, like Aaron Rodgers. I think that'll really help him turn his career around and kind of prove that he's still the guy that he was in New York. Because I really think he is. He's still a great player. It's just I don't think Cleveland was a great fit. I don't think Baker Mayfield was a great fit as quarterback for him. But I think you put him in the right system and give him the right quarterback that can hit deep shots. He can be one of the most lethal receivers in the NFL again.
Oh, he was the best receiver in the NFL for at least 3 or 4 years. So, obviously, Eli Manning was a big part of that. Love Eli. I love Odell. Is my favorite connection ever. I'm hoping we bring him back home and try to make things work. Doesn't look like it's going to happen, but bring him back home. I don't care what happens the rest of the season if you have him back as a Giant. I'm sure Daniel Jones would love it too. But I think he could go to the Chiefs. I think what you have in Green Bay with Allen Lazard and Valdez-Scantling, it's very comparable to DeMarcus Robinson and Byron Pringle and Mecole Hardman. I think they're all very similar guys. I think he could play a good role in the Chiefs offense. But then again, I think if he wants to go to a more well-rounded team, Green Bay is probably it. I'd love him on the Ravens. Love to see him.
That would be nice to see, too, him and Lamar together.
Lamar and him would be great. I'd love to see him on the Seahawks with Russ. But I think the Packers would be ideally his best location. But if not coming home, if he's not going to come home, I want him on Green Bay or Baltimore.
I couldn't see the Giants taking him back. Just ownership is too stingy on that.
Never know, though.
Just to trade a guy away and then bring him back.
You never know. John Mara and him had a good conversation before the preseason game, it looked like. So who knows what they were talking about. But
yeah, you never know, I guess.
It looked like they were having a good talk. So
I think another underdog, though, they were kind of favored at the very beginning. Now talks have kind of died out. The New Orleans Saints, bringing back to Louisiana, where he went to college.
He's from Louisiana, actually, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so maybe he'll want to go play for his hometown team. They have a need for a receiver there, too. He's going to have, Jameis Winston out for the year. It's going to be tough in terms of that. That's why I think he should go to the Packers if I were him.
Yeah, Trevor Siemian, I don't want really throwing me the ball that much. Although Trevor Siemian's not a bad backup, but yeah.
No, it's a solid backup, but yeah, if you can...
Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Odell can go pretty much anywhere he wants right now, so...
Definitely.
If I'm him, I'm going Green Bay, maybe Seattle too, as you said. Somewhere where he can fit in. Because it seems like he wants to go somewhere and be the guy and get the reps that he used to be. And I think he's not going to get, those kind of throws if he's not playing for a guy like Aaron Rodgers or Russ.
Russ or Lamar Jackson, I think, could get him the ball like he'd want. I think also Patrick Mahomes could too. I think no matter where he goes, he's going to play a big role in the offense. I'm just hoping it was the Giants. Doesn't look like it's going to be, obviously. So I'll be rooting for him to stay. Go somewhere and hopefully,
I don't blame you at all.
Hopefully stay for a year and then come back home.
That's all you want.
Get a new GM. You never know. I don't think Gettleman has anything against him, but I think if he comes back home, I don't care what happens the rest of the season. I really don't. In any sport, that is. I don't care if any other team wins. Odell's back as a Giant. That's all that matters to me.
Mm-hmm.
I want him.
Unless they're in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's what matters most. Not that that's happening anytime soon, but...
the Patriots will win a Super Bowl this year. Relax. Giants, we have our struggles.
Give it 1 or 2 more years.
We have our struggles, but, things will work out. Giants have a lot to look forward to. A big positive outlook. I always have a positive outlook on the team. So
speaking of the past, though, big win last weekend at the Panthers, and then big week the week before. San Diego Chargers big win. Adrian Phillips had a game-sealing pick six at the end. That was great to see. Back to 5-4. We're kind of in control of our destiny at this point. Mac Jones has looked good. Ramondre Stevenson has stepped up pretty well with Damian Harris being in and out. The defense looks really good too. So I think we're in position right now, to hopefully secure a wild card spot in the coming weeks.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll see how things go. The AFC,
it's wide open right now.
A little more wide open the NFC. The NFC. I mean, the Giants are 2 games out actually of a wild card, if I remember right. So, hey, things aren't looking too bad for the Giants. Two wins we should have back: Washington, Kansas City.
You never know with the Cowboys too. That division could be, 2 more weeks. That division could be back to being wide open with the way the Cowboys played the last couple of weeks.
Definitely. So, see how things go. If anybody wants to call in, as I said, 617-596-3150. I think we'll be someone calling in a second.
Yep.
I think Mike Hurley will be joining us. The sports fanatic, sports guru, Mike Hurley. He'll be coming on, giving us some insight, I hope. So, see how things go. And maybe we can get into some Celtics talk, too, some Bruins with him, anything. He can talk anything.
Yeah, that would be great. We'll go whatever. BC football, we can
talk anything with him. Yeah, Bruins. I mean, hey, he'll be on here to talk anything. He'll be on here to talk anything. The Celtics have been struggling actually recently. I don't know what's going on with them.
Yeah, 4-6 in the season now. Tough loss to the Mavericks last week. I thought we played really well that game.
Yeah, the game.
Obviously, Mavericks one of the better teams in the league, 6-3. I mean, it's tough to judge a season only 10 games in. It's tough that we hung in with them the whole game. Down just a little bit at the half. And then, we kind of scratch and claw our way back all, the third quarter and the fourth quarter, force OT. Not force OT, excuse me. And then it comes down, it comes down to the end of the game. You see Luka get the ball and you just kind of know, like, okay. Like, Luka takes a step back 3 and you just kind of know. We were watching that game live and, you see the step back go in. It's crushing. Tough game. Tatum played really well, though. 32 points, shot 6 for 8 from 3. Horford's been solid. He's been really steady all year. So that was good to see as well. A lot of close losses we've had this year. We had a couple tough games at the start of the year, but I think we're starting to bring it back, even though the record doesn't exactly show that. Even though our losses are getting a lot closer and our wins have been solid. We got seen with the Heat last week. That was a good game. And we're playing good teams right now. So game against the Raptors tonight, we're up 11-6 halfway through the first quarter. So we'll see how that one goes, but I'm feeling good about the game. Let's see. Scotty Barnes has been playing well here. He has 4 points already to go. Horford's got 4. Robert Williams has 4. Close game though so far. So
see how things go.
See how it goes. Need to get a win back to get back on track.
come next week, actually, the Tatum versus Brown talk, we'll be ready for that. I don't think we have time for that this week, but I would take Jaylen Brown over Jason Tatum. I'll say that now. We'll talk about it next week.
I've got a big argument with this one, but yeah, he's saying that he wants Jaylen Brown. If he can only have one,
Tatum. Hold on, before we even get
all right, we're not getting into this today. But...
Before we even get Mike Curley, let's talk about some Tatum stat lines here. 7 of 30.
All right, we can't. It's been 8 games.
12 of 20. 9. It doesn't matter. I mean, 9 of 22, 10 of 32, 8 of 22, 4 of 16, 3 of 13.
All right, you just pulled those stats, but let me go into the last few seasons.
It's been ridiculous.
Next week we're going to the last few seasons. It's not even close. There's not.
Last few seasons, I take
Jaylen Brown can't create offense the same way.
I'm talking current basketball.
All right, Jaylen Brown can get those points because he's not the number one guy. He's not the number one focus of opposing defenses. Tatum's the guy that can create for you. He's the guy that you can give the ball to with 2 minutes left.
We'll see what Mike Curley thinks. Hey, Mike, you on the line with us?
Mike's going to think you're crazy.
Hold on, let's see if we can even hear him.
It's not even close.
Yeah.
In terms of creating offense. I love Jaylen Brown. He's a great player, and I wouldn't trade him for anything. But if I could only have one, I mean, you need a guy like Tatum to win games. If we didn't, I mean, Jaylen Brown, if we had just him and no Tatum, we'd be good defensively still. But we need a playmaker on offense.
Oh, there we go. Now we hear him. Yeah, I don't know what was going on there. The speaker wasn't connecting. Here we go. All right. Here we go. Mike Curley, sports guru, coming on to give us some insight.
Refresh me on the question. I don't know what was being said.
All right, yeah, we can refresh. So we're talking about Jason Tatum versus Jaylen Brown. I say I would take Jaylen Brown over Jason Tatum. Yes, I know most people wouldn't, but
I'm taking the easy
He
side.
may agree.
Yeah,
he may agree. Tatum or Jaylen Brown? Let's hear it. Sports guru.
That's a bad question. Isaiah Thomas is who I'd rather have, actually.
I can get behind that. I love the running back.
In his prime, yeah.
Here's the thing. I think Tatum probably has a higher ceiling. Everybody says that. It's the cop-out. I still don't think he has a high enough ceiling to actually make the Celtics championship contenders. Sorry.
I would agree with that.
If I was a top 10 guy to me.
I agree with that, actually. I'm with you there. I think, honestly, it's been every year's idea.
I think whenever Brown gets the ball, it sticks with him. He's not a great passer. Tatum's not a great passer either. Neither of them have great handles. Not that you need to if you're a big guy, but I don't know.
Seems like if Tatum ever gets the ball in a tough situation, though, he can always just kind of find his way.
He dribbles off his knees half the time. He turns the ball over a ton.
Often.
Against the Miami Heat,
how many
talked
turnovers
about
he has?
this.
I haven't watched much.
Yeah, Game 6, 2 years ago.
Calls it down this year. People complaining.
Foul calls are down. Yes, it's been less actually.
I actually like that. It makes it more enjoyable to watch. Just as a fan, when you watch it on TV, it gets kind of tiring seeing all these free throws going on all the time.
Pace of play's down since the 1980s, the heyday. They started calling fouls for Michael Jordan and made the game worse.
Yeah, it's a different game now. You know what I mean?
It's been tough for guys like James Harden, too. You see him celebrating after finally getting a foul call last week at, I forget who they were playing, but the clip was all over Sports Center, him celebrating because the refs finally gave him a call. Nuts.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, it's a different game now.
Yeah, well, everybody wants to make, All-NBA, so you got to get your points. If you don't get your points, you can't get that All-NBA, get the, extra money or something.
Yeah, that's what everyone wants. Yeah, you got those.
And the other problem is people just want to keep making super teams. That's the real problem with the league is that all the powers with the players in that league.
Yeah, it's a different game.
You have to appease your top guys so that they're the king of the castle, and if they're not good enough, your team's just going to stay not good enough until you draft a guy who's good.
Yeah, no, you're right.
They never know if they're going to want to leave, too.
Now, unless you can trade one of them, I don't care which, for a real
for Embiid
guy.
Get Embiid.
I'd be happy with Embiid.
I love that. Not Ben Simmons. That's ridiculous.
No, I didn't like those rumors one bit. I'm glad they came out as fake. I would lose my mind if we traded either Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum for Simmons.
Yeah, I wouldn't trade him for anything, actually. I don't want Ben Simmons. Especially how much he's causing.
Doncic? Would you trade him for Doncic?
Yeah.
I would probably trade almost anyone in the league for Doncic, I think. In terms of, like...
He smoked the Celtics, a couple days ago?
He did, yeah.
Yeah, he had a game-winning 3. Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah.
Big game winner, yeah. We've been struggling early on in the season, which is something we were just highlighting. So hopefully see how things go. With Jaylen Brown out for a couple of weeks, that definitely won't help. See how Tatum carries the team.
He's going to manage these egos. I heard they just...
there's a lot of egos.
They canceled the captaincy on the team, right?
Yeah, they did. They did today, actually. It's supposed to be the Jaylen Brown or forfeit, and then...
Nobody's man enough to be captain?
I guess not. It's not.
Yeah, that's kind of wild.
It's not like Chara on the Bruins. It's not like that.
No, not at all.
Bergeron on the Bruins.
Now Bergeron. I'm talking about Chara back in the day, though. He's the cap.
I would have thought...
The Celtics were a more likable team when Isaiah Thomas was here because he was
Kyrie
tough
ruined it.
nosed player. Maybe his ceiling's not what Tatum and Brown's is, but he was the leader of the team, and it was undisputed, and he wasn't a crybaby.
He's the third leading scorer in the league, too. Come on, he was right there. A second, whatever he was. Finished third in MVP, a second MVP, whatever he did.
The team still has never gone farther than they did with him since, 2008? They're the last team to win a championship in town.
Yeah. 2018, we were close. Game 7 was the Cavs.
In over a decade or whatever.
Yeah, they haven't, no.
I think another weird thing, too, is
people act like, if they make the second round, that they just won the finals.
If you win a
the new coach, too. I would have thought by now, we would have had a lot more offensive flow but after last year. Because it seemed like as Brad's days were dwindling down, our offense just came down to, give a guy like Tatum or Brown the ball and let him work, and we just had nothing else.
ISO league, I guess.
But, it's the same thing this year. So
I actually think that's, again, I come back to it. BC basketball, if they were a better product, you guys say they get a little bit better, but if they were a better product and they made the big dance, it'd be fun to watch because college ball, you get a little more team play. It's a faster game.
Absolutely. Definitely. For sure. Let's hear your thoughts on some Bruins, though.
This is the best basketball product out.
March Madness? Yeah, no, definitely. It gets everyone going.
Yeah.
You're a guru
college
with that,
basketball
too.
in general, too. Yeah, you don't really get many of those ISO plays. You just get guys going at it the whole time.
I gotta find my next gem.
Hey, Oral Roberts got blown out, actually, in their opener against some random team yesterday. Can't happen.
You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about this time of year. They just gotta...
They got blown up by 25.
They lost Obanor, didn't they?
Urbana, yeah. Urbana's gone, and then
Tech.
they still got Smith, but yeah, they had a tough first game. I thought they'd dominate, but yeah, I mean, it's only first game of the year. I'm sure they'll be good. But let's hear some Bruins, though. We got to hear some Bruins talk, Mike. We haven't talked about them in a couple weeks now.
Yeah, well, they just had a pretty good win there against
Ottawa, 3-2.
The big problem is it's just the top line is doing all the scoring.
That's it. Very top heavy.
Having a down spell. Didn't play a lot of hockey in the summer because it was unfortunate family situation there. But the problem is that they get no scoring. Cassidy called them out. He said it's a quiet team. But if you're quiet in terms of production, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're quiet in the locker room. Because they got a bunch of guys who are characters, but
yeah, for sure.
Got
to get everyone going.
Top line, McAvoy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the next best goal scorer on the team was like Forborg or something, and he scored 2 goals his whole life.
Yeah, Bergeron, Marchand, they got 5 goals each.
Bergeron's been putting it in lately. Marchand always. Pasta, he at least creates scoring plays, even if he's not at the top of his game.
He's got 3 goals.
Yeah, some nights he's either on and then some nights he's off.
Chest or whatever to put one in.
Yeah, Brad's having a good season. 15 points. Bergeron's got 9. I know you just picked him up in fantasy hockey, Bergeron. Big trade.
Big trade. Big fleece.
Right before Bergeron's. How many points did he have that game? 4 points?
I accepted it during the day, and then Bergeron scored 4 goals. So he wasn't on my team yet. I actually had Brock Nelson score 4 goals anyway, so I still got the points, but...
Okay, there we go.
It's a big swing. I'm in 3rd place, 16-team league,
Hey, there you go.
There you
Let's go.
Come on, let's go. You need to get the W, Kim.
$200 buy-in, but...
Oh, jeez.
Always a heavy buy-ins.
Yeah. Bruins, though, we need some defense out there.
Do need defense.
It's been brutal.
Swayman.
Carolina got to Swayman to save anything.
In the offseason, I don't know if... they didn't really address it. They could have saved some money, I think, with Rash being gone and Krejci. That's about $15 million, $14 million. They just extended McAvoy, but that's not this year. If you go on that capfriendly.com site,
has every sport.
Really good. Yeah, has every team, has all the deals. I wish they had that for every sport, but hockey's really one of the only ones that has a hard cap.
Yeah, they got every team right in there.
Baseball, you can spend as much as you want.
Go LA Dodgers style, just get everyone. Yeah, same spirit.
We could use it right now. We need someone besides McAvoy out there.
Yeah. Go against the cap kid. Yeah, baseball, it's basically non-existent, the cap.
Basically, this goalie that they brought in, Omar, he's a good goalie.
Yeah, I've seen his stats.
I think they overpaid him a little bit.
He's the backup, you said, they signed.
The bottom 6, who, they're paying them good bottom 6 salaries, but probably be better off just bringing a couple guys up from, the AHL and then try to go pay a top 4 defenseman. Hopefully, a number 2 or 3 defensemen to play that left side.
For sure, yeah. I mean, he's not having a bad season.
They've lost defensemen in both expansion drafts,
For sure.
Yeah, it's tough.
They say it's the toughest position in the sport, so.
Got to find some talent there.
We didn't have any other plan, for losing him.
Years past, we'd have guys come up, like Dougie Hamilton, Torrey Krug.
Yeah, haven't seen anything like that in a while, though.
Yeah, McAvoy's that guy.
McAvoy, another one, yep.
Oh, you're going to have 6, 7 guys playing defense at least.
Clifton, come on.
Miller retired. Yeah, Clifton's he's good.
It's your boy, yeah.
But he only gets $1 million a year. I mean, that's nothing.
For sure. Got to get someone going. Someone got to get hot. Someone's got to get hot.
Got no depth up there.
It's a long season, though, as we talked about every team. We talked about BC football being a long season, BC hockey being a long season, Celtics.
Watch them heat up soon.
The problem is they don't have the Bees. It would be nice if they had enough scoring up front. You might be able to trade a guy like a DeBrusque and go get a D-man. Right now, it's just only the big dogs scoring, and then and then McAvoy playing 30 minutes a night out there, and everybody having penalties.
Yeah, guys wrecked every night, getting killed. What would you do though? What would you? Let's say you're the GM of the Bruins right now. What deal are you doing? What deal are you making?
Oh, I'm going after left side defenseman. You have to.
Absolutely, yeah. I agree 100%.
I don't know who a trade partner would be. St. Louis Blues or somebody. Vegas has a few.
Got some options.
Dallas has a few guys. Philly's they just retooled their defense, but they're not doing. The defensemen themselves aren't doing too hot. Although one guy's hurt, Ellis.
Yeah, it's not enough.
Florida Panthers. They
need to find something. Spencer Knight.
They've been good. Yeah, Spencer Knight's been playing really well.
As like he's just one of the crew, really.
Mm-hmm. Spencer Knight now too. He's one of the highest win streaks for rookie goalie.
True. We gotta find something.
Martinez is the guy that could have got up Vegas if they just paid him a little bit.
Yeah, that would have been nice to have a guy like him. Just anyone really at this point that can provide depth.
Power play, so he's offensive enough, and he can log some big minutes. A little sturdier than like a Grizzly. I like Grizzly. His game's good. I think he might be better than McAvoy offensively, but McAvoy's just better all around. So
we need more defensive defensemen. Offense hasn't really been an issue for us.
For sure.
They need a steady defensive defenseman.
Absolutely. For sure.
You got to have somebody out there who can punish people.
For sure. We'll be looking out. Hopefully the Bruins make a deal. Have you come back on, Mike. It's always a pleasure. Thank you for coming on tonight.
Thanks for coming on, Mike.
Thank you for talking some Celts.
Nice always talking Boston sports.
Yeah, here's a quick second about Odell. He said that was his main argument he wanted to come on.
What's your prediction?
He wanted to come on and talk Odell. That was his main
Let's hear it real quick. We're at 7:59.
When was the last time a big outside receiver who was a diva won a Super Bowl?
It's not that Odell doesn't have the talent to win a Super Bowl. I mean, you put him in the right system. You put Odell in the right system, he'll be fine. I want him back in the Giants, so I don't care if he wins a Super Bowl or not. I want him back.
I like Dez. He didn't win. These big outside diva receivers, they don't win.
You don't want him on the Pats?
Money, they want the ball, and you can shut them down. Any team can shut down one receiver.
Give us your quick prediction on one team. Where's he going?
Green Bay. He's not going to get the ball.
Let's go. That's where I'm going to, Green Bay.
I want him on the Ravens, kid. But yeah, we'll have to see.
I think the Ravens are in much contention from what I heard, but maybe Chiefs. Chiefs are Packers.
Yeah, I think Packers are most likely.
Seahawks, Ravens.
I think his fit is best with Green Bay.
He would go to the Bucs, but he wouldn't make the field.
Yeah, they're too deep.
He'd be the third best player on that team. Would they be out? He'd be out there.
He'd be the fourth best receiver until Scotty Miller came back.
Oh my God! All right,
I don't think he'd get much playing time in Tampa Bay.
Hey, Brady loves him. If Brady wants him out, he's playing. No matter who's on that team.
Like Brady. I mean, if
they'll take an offensive lineman out.
If Brady wanted him, he would be there already. So
he's one of them.
I think it's unlikely.
Belichick wants him too. So, anyways, I'm Mike. Thank you for coming on, though.
Yeah,
we appreciate it.
Mike.
It was awesome having you come on, talk some Bruins, some Celtics, talk some BC too. Appreciate it.
I'm the regular caller, I'm a regular
guy. Oh, let's go.
Absolutely. No, you're a long-time listener too. I know that. The sports guru. That's it. Sports guru. Have you come on again for sure. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike.
Have a good night. Take it easy. See you, Mike.
Alrighty. That wraps up another good week of the Playbook. Thank you guys all for coming out. I'm glad we got to have another week out here talking Boston sports. So looking forward to a big couple BC football games and BC basketball games this weekend. So enjoy it. Thank you guys for listening.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening to another week of the Playbook with Joey and Zach. We'll be back on BC Sports Radio next week, Wednesday, November 17th from 7 to 8 p.m. We invite you to listen and join us again then. We appreciate it. Thank you, Mike Curley, again for coming on. Thank you guys all for listening. We really appreciate it. We invite you to listen again next week. Thank you. Have a great night and be safe and be well.
All right. Yeah, see you guys.